like basketball, Tractor Supply, let me tell you something. Tractor Supply, okay, they know that a winning season takes practice. It does. Doing talk radio, it takes practice. Teamwork and a can-do attitude. Very, very important. And it's bracket challenge season. You smell that? That's bracket challenge season. It's in the air, literally everywhere, and you know what you need to do. Right? You need me to I'll tell you what to do, right? The Fox Sports Radio Bracket Challenge is live. We'll do it live. It is live right now, and be sure to complete your bracket. So here's what you do. You go to foxsportsradio.com. Do it right now. Go to foxsportsradio.com. The winning bracket in the Fox Sports Radio Bracket Challenge will win a $2,500 gift card from Tractor Supply. How cool is that? I love Tractor Supply. It's a great store to walk around in. Now, if you get a perfect bracket, now if you do that, you'll win $1 million. $1 million if you get a perfect bracket. Fill out your bracket. Do it right now. You have until Thursday morning before the first games begin on Thursday. Visit foxsportsradio.com. That's foxsportsradio.com. You got to register over there. You get all the rules, you get all those regulations, all that stuff at foxsports.com. Fill out your bracket. Check it all out. It's all sponsored by Tractor Supply for life out here. Former NFL player Dominic Foxworth, who says that Aaron Rodgers should play for the Minnesota Vikings this season for free to make over his image, that he should play an entire season and not take a salary. Just say, hey, I want to show up, I want to play ball, and I just want to do it to help the Vikings out. I want to change my reputation. All right, so let us discuss. This is hilarious. Is that not the funniest thing you've heard? All right, so Aaron Rodgers playing in Minnesota, which has been talked about, and another story about Rodgers wanting to play in Minnesota. But this former NFL player saying Rodgers should play for free to change his image. So how do you classify that rant? How would you classify that rant? So I've got Amtrak, Tushy, and Salamander. And we will combine all of these things together, and we're going to make the gabagool. We're going to make the gabagool is what we're going to make. And then we'll have a side, we'll have like a Juicy Lucy, one of the great burgers ever, the Juicy Lucy, a staple of Minnesota, right next to the gabagool. All right, so to lead off here, this is a humdinger of a ridiculous story, and the fact aside that it goes against the collective bargaining agreement. That aside, right? We'll leave that aside. Congratulations to this former NFL player because you get a gold star near your name, right? Gold star. You're not exactly getting a gold star for the great take. You're getting a gold star for working at Amtrak, if you will, and you are the engineer sitting in the locomotive, and you are controlling the stupid train. Choo-choo. Yeah, you're on the stupid train. Follow the words of legends that there's one thing guaranteed in terms of failure. If you want the formula for failure, how do you fail? That is to try to please everyone. Now, the funny thing about it is I'm convinced Aaron Rodgers is such a polarizing firebrand at this point that if Aaron Rodgers were to go into a darkness retreat somewhere and have some kind of close encounter with some alien species from outside the cosmos, and they gave Aaron Rodgers cures to every single disease on the planet, that people would have an issue with it. I don't know about that. I don't know. Yeah. So you're not going to please everyone, and so it's funny. It's still bizarre that the Vikings are the team. Now, speaking of the Vikings, as Aaron Rodgers twiddles his thumbs and waits around and sees what's going to happen here in Minnesota, some new connecting of the dots. And we love connecting of the dots. We love it. Indicating that an old friend could return to the Twin Cities. Could is a weasel word. It has been floated by those that claim to have insider knowledge that the Minnesota Vikings are a possibility a possibility to make a trade with the Atlanta Falcons and acquire Kirk Cousins. Things that make you go home. So, question. Where is the Maller absurdity-o-meter on Kirk Cousins being in play to return to Minnesota? All right, so on the Maller absurdity-o-meter, the number one measuring device for the absurd, on the Maller absurdity-o-meter, I've got low, normal, high, and extreme. And the absurdity meter, the Maller absurdity meter, went off the chart on this one. Off the chart. Okay, you let Cousins go because you realize he's not the answer. And you were proven correct. Why on God's green earth would you bring him back? Like, he proved you were right. You got rid of him. He sucked at a time you can't suck. So why would you bring him? It's like the mindset. That's Jerry Jones. Like, remember Jerry Jones got rid of Zeke Elliott because Zeke can't play anymore. And Jerry hates getting rid of anybody that, in the inner circle. He loves stars. Zeke Elliott was a star. So they got rid of Zeke Elliott. He goes off to New England and is this lumbering, plodding back, is like a tree trunk. That's not a compliment. And so he plays in New England. He goes back to the Cowboys, and they brought him back. It'd be the same. It'd be like bringing Zeke Elliott back to the Cowboys if the Vikings were to do that. And I really don't understand the mindset, because he went to Georgia. He did the face plant, right, the belly whopper. So your hypothesis was proven correct, and here we are. It's being discussed. So you bring him back? I mean, do the double check, right? You got to do the double check on this, and it's like the I thought it was one of those satire sites, like one of the tushy butt crack sports or Sports Talk Barry, or one of those things. I thought it was satire, but it's not. I'm pretty sure the Vikings, maybe I'm wrong on this, I thought they drafted J.J. McCarthy like 10th overall. I know he didn't play. I know he got hurt last year and all that. But this would be a huge vote of no confidence, a massive vote of no confidence, if you go out and get, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or some other old geezer quarterback like Kirk Cousins. Like, Kirk Cousins at this point should be at the deli counter taking a number at the deli counter, and then right next to him is Russell Wilson and Joe Flacco and all those guys. They're all burnt toast. Now, they'll all find jobs somewhere because everyone seems to find jobs. There's a supply chain shortage of quarterbacks. It's a problem. All right, last thing here. So I saw this, and this was sent to me by one of our knuckleheads that listen in the Boston area. So there was a story making the rounds, I think it was on NBC Sports Boston, that New England was said to be exceedingly wary of the negative impact that a demanding wide receiver would have on the development of Drake May. Ergo, because of that, the New England Patriots abstained from acquiring DK Metcalf in a trade from the Seattle football team and did not make a competitive offer for Davante Adams, who ended up going to the Rams. DK Metcalf went to Pittsburgh. So that's the story. So why would the Patriots be afraid to pair Drake May with either DK Metcalf or Davante Adams? So this is a bad look. I mean, this is one of those cover your nose, it stinks situation. If this is true, right, if this reporting is true, what a terrible look for Drake May. And what a terrible look for the Patriots. Both sides not exactly smelling like a rose on this one, because from the Drake May side of things, you drafted this guy as your franchise quarterback for the next 10 years or so, and Drake May does not have the proper pedigree, apparently. He cannot handle a abrasive, give me the damn ball type wide receiver. That's what the story implies. The story implies that Drake May is such a Mr. Softy. He's got salamander skin, and a guy like DK Metcalf raising a hullabaloo because he's not getting the ball enough, or Devontae Adams doing the whole superstar, I demand the ball this many times. I need to get the ball in the red zone. It said all that stuff that Drake May couldn't handle. He would crumble. It'd be like a house of cards coming down. And for the Patriots side of things, shouldn't you want to immerse Drake May in an environment where he's around that? I mean, you assume if you're ever good again, the Patriots have been an absolute abomination for a couple of years now, but if they're ever going to get good again, you're going to have the diva wide receiver. That is a staple of modern NFL football. The prima donna, look at me, I'm smelling myself, I'm navel-gazing at myself, wide receiver. So shouldn't Drake May be tossed into that right now so he can figure it out? Wouldn't that be helpful? But what do I know? Anyway, so there's nobody really left other than trading for Brandon Ayuk. But that's not a signing. You'd have to trade for him from the 49ers. And there'll be another round of names that will be tossed out onto the swap meet, the garage sale of the NFL.